If you have scoliosis, there are 3 exercises that you should be doing daily that are very simple and very effective and appropriate for all curve patterns. Since scoliosis is all about instability and collapse, these 3 exercises address both of those things. And the first one that we're going to do in sitting. So I like sitting on a firm surface. It's easier to feel where your body is in space. And so if you find a stool or a chair or something that allows you to sit and kind of feel where your sit bones are, that's the best option. You can do this on any type of chair though. So once you sit, you want to think about where your weight is on your sit bones. We're looking for equal weight right to left. And most of us with scoliosis tend to bias one side or the other. And so you might find that you're leaning to the right or you're leaning to the left. And what that does is it takes your trunk and moves it away from your pelvis. So we've got trunk and pelvis moving in 2 opposite directions, creating some instability and also leading to collapse into the concave part of the spine. So when you find that equal weight bearing position, you can think about lining up nose over your belly button. And we can place your hands either on your thighs or fingertips up on shoulders. Both tend to work fairly well. If you place your hands on your thighs, you're going to be pushing down gently into your lap to maintain that elongation and core activation throughout the exercise. And if you place your fingertips on your elbows, you're going to be thinking about pressing your elbows to opposite sides of the room. Again, you should feel like your core engages a bit when you do this. So I'm going to go ahead and bring hands to my lap here. And so I've got equal weight through my sit bones to the best of my ability. I'm thinking about lining up my nose and my belly button. I'm trying to sit as tall as I can, bringing my ears over my shoulders and shoulders over my hips. And now I'm going to use my breath to help create expansion throughout my trunk and try to maintain that nice expanded position throughout the exercise. So with your breath, inhale and think about lifting your rib cage up away from your pelvis, creating equal space between the bottom of your ribs, top of your hips, and equal space between each and every rib in your rib cage. As you exhale, either press down into your lap or press elbows wide if your fingertips are on your shoulders and try to maintain that expansion. You'll take maybe 6 to 12 breaths in this position. Every breath in, expanding and lengthening throughout your spine. Every breath out, maintaining that expansion, pressure, and tension. This should feel like work. It shouldn't be painful, but it should feel like you're engaging your core, you're engaging muscles around your spine to help you stabilize and stay upright. So I recommend doing this exercise at least a few breaths when you sit down to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's an easy time to incorporate this activity. Even if it's less than that minute or 90 seconds, it's going to help you find that midline position, nose over belly button, trunk positioned over your pelvis, and that's going to really help you avoid instability and collapse. The second exercise is similar, but we're going to go ahead and do it in standing. So I'm going to move the stool out of the way. I like to do these barefoot a lot of times because I think it's easier to feel where your weight is on your feet, but you can do it in shoes as well if you're just going about your day and it's easier. So just like in sitting, you're thinking about where you're weight bearing and you're trying to find that equal weight bearing position. A lot of us with scoliosis tend to shift our hips to one side or the other and weight bear more heavily on one foot or the other. So you're trying to find that equal weight bearing position so that your pelvis is right underneath your trunk and the spacing between your forearms and your hips is equal. So not here, but centered underneath your trunk. Again, nose lining up with belly button. You're standing tall, thinking about ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over ankles. Long through the back of your neck. Your neck is always a continuation of the rest of your spine. And you can either keep hands here on your hips. You can check too that your hips are not rotating forward on the right or on the left, but that they're pointing straight ahead. Or you could bring hands up to your shoulders and keep fingertips on shoulders with elbows pressing wide, which is going to help you engage your core here as well. So I'm going to do fingertips on my shoulders here. And we're going to use breath again. Every breath in, you're inhaling, lengthening, and elongating through your spine. Every breath out, you're pressing your elbows wide, pressing your head and hips in opposite directions. You should feel muscles working in your legs and your core, around your spine. Try to keep your face and your neck relaxed. And we will do 6 to 8, maybe 6 to 10 breaths in this position. You're really looking for finding where you feel like you're in your best correction. So maybe that's 6 breaths, maybe that's 12 breaths, but that's really what you're shooting for, is when you feel like you're in your maximum correction. So every breath in, inhaling, lengthening, expanding, and opening throughout your spine. Every breath out, pressing elbows wide, pressing head and hips in opposite directions. Inhale again and lengthen, lifting your rib cage up away from your pelvis, creating space between each and every rib in your rib cage. As you exhale, keep that nice expansion, pressure, and tension. And keep going until you feel like you are in the best position you can get, or until you feel like you're just getting tired and you need a break. That's a fair reason to stop as well. When you're done, you bring your hands back down to your sides. Try not to change the position of your trunk. Try to keep that nice elongation. Maintain that neutral spine position to the best of your ability. I like doing this exercise when you're brushing your teeth morning and night. Most of us are standing in front of a mirror anyway, so even if you can only do one hand fingertips on your shoulders because you're brushing your teeth, or you want to keep a hand down on your hip, that's fine. You could do it also before or after you're done brushing your teeth if you want to do that as well. And then the third and final exercise is a stretch. I often call it the countertop stretch because that's a great place for most people to do this exercise. Right now, I'm going to use the back of a chair. So I'm going to grab a chair just from over here for a second and pull this over so you can see. So I'm going to position this chair so that I can grab the back of the chair and then step back a little bit. And so I'm just using this for a little balance and support. I'm sending my hips backwards and imagining lengthening throughout my spine. I'm getting a little bit of a hamstring stretch here too, hinging forward from my hips. So you're really thinking about elongation, neutral spine positioning, getting that hip hinge moment. Things we don't want is rounding or flexion through the spine or too much extension. We're trying to stay as neutral as we can. And you can determine how much of a stretch you want by your foot placement. You're thinking long throughout the back of your neck, equal weight through your feet again, stretching. And you can go ahead and then do that 30 seconds, 60 seconds. You can take breaks if you need. The goal is really finding that neutral spine position and maintaining that. Usually feels good if your back is starting to feel a little achy. Sometimes that's just a nice stretch to go to work on elongation, getting a little decompression for the spine. So it's a great one to throw into your day. Sometimes it's nice to start or end your day with that exercise, but you can really do it at any point during the day. All right, so I hope these 3 exercises help you. And if you have questions, please drop them in the comments, let me know. If you want exercises for a specific curve pattern, you can let me know that as well, and I'll see what I can create for you. And lastly, if you check out the comments, you will see a link to my website where there's more content like this available, so you can check that out as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps you on your scoliosis journey.